Awesome. Any final thoughts on this clip?
Nah, man, it was just first time I heard about a deaf doula, but yeah.
I was worried he might bail. My pleasure. The real thanks goes to the newbie here for thinking outside the box. Sorry I doubted your med surge pitch.
Ah, no sweat. How'd you think of that? My family had to think of a lot of creative ways to help manage your grandma. Leukemia. System doesn't work for you, you gotta work the system.
She survived?
For a while, till she didn't. She died before my freshman year of college.
Sorry.
Her death taught me a lot. Mainly that I don't want to be around people dying.
So I picked this clip because of the importance of having a team that is diverse, right? So basically what happened in this situation a little before this clip is you have a patient who has uncontrolled diabetes. He's in DKA, but he didn't want to be admitted to the hospital because it's going to cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars. He has no health insurance. He's already in medical debt. And so that is a very tough situation. This student basically says, well, what if we, keep him down here in the ER for a bit and then take him off a particular medication, an insulin drip, so they don't have to go to the ICU. They can go to a lower level of care, which is going to cut the bill by like half or a bunch. And obviously, we all know going to the ICU is very, very expensive. And so the importance is like she obviously comes from a background where her family member didn't have health insurance. They had to kind of game the system, figure out how to navigate in a system that was tough. And if she wasn't in that interaction, like maybe that patient would have left against medical advice. Maybe, he wouldn't have agreed to staying and he would have had a bad outcome. Mm-hmm. And so to me, it showed how important it is to have people on a team that are of, varying backgrounds, whether it's race, whether it's gender, whether it's where you grew up in Sudan or you've been like me to Pakistan or you grew up in Chicago. And so wherever the case is, having that diversity of perspectives can then allow for that team to provide a solution for that patient. If everyone looks the same and thinks the same and comes from the same background, they probably wouldn't have been able to help that individual. And so to me, unfortunately, we're in a time where the term diversity or DEI is like a taboo word, or people like have kind of made it into a meme almost. But this is truly what diversity looks like, having a diverse team where people can provide their perspectives and solutions and then have a discussion around that and actually do the thing that they're there to do, which is treat patients. But it's important in every field, in the legal field, business field, every field.
Thinking outside the box.
Yeah, it was a good point, man, you made. I think people kind of get confused with what the DEI actually is, man. It's about having people from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different race, different genders. It kind of gives you different points of view. I remember even in my time, like working somewhere, you don't really know, you don't think about issues because they don't really affect you, but then someone brings it to the table and you kind of just like, okay, it's something that like we didn't even consider, but your background brought it up for us.
Yeah, 100%. And
example is right now always, right? This is a perfect example. What month are we having?
Ramadan.
Yes, right?
I'm out a little dry right now.
Right? So it's a fasting month and a lot of people don't know anything about Ramadan. A lot of people don't really have any idea why people abstain from water and food from sun up to sundown, and what is that doing to patients that will come to you to the hospital and they're saying I'm fasting. What are the implications of that, right? So if you didn't have anybody in your team who understands Ramadan and tells you, hey, they're fasting, but if they're sick or ill, their Quran, Allah is telling them they can break their fast and they can make it up later. Imagine if you had nobody in your team that actually addresses that. So that's just bad patient care. In my opinion, this is like poor patient care, right? That's the point of us having different perspectives and insights and experiences, life experiences. That's why it's always important for us to have a diverse team. Because honestly, I hate to say this, but I'm like, I don't want to be around a homogeneous team that has no idea about my culture, my languages that I speak, or my religion, because at the end of the day, I know I'm going to get bad care.
Yeah. 100%. And that's you look at medicine historically, like all these research studies and protocols, they were, usually developed based on like a white male. And then we were like, oh, wait, these certain medications don't work as well for other races. And that is like the most basic example of, having a homogenous, population and study and a team, but that obviously seeps into every aspect of care. And like you said, and you brought it up, so if anyone is, fasting or wants to learn more about how to take care of patients properly during Ramadan, Dr. Hagamed has an amazing podcast that he released, I know, a few weeks ago. And then you did actually a write-up in one of the emergency medicine journals about how to take care of those patients, things to look for and whatnot. So definitely check that out if you're interested in that.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't bring water today because I didn't want to drink in front of you. I'm trying to be nice, man. I'm trying to be supportive. No, I was being serious. I didn't want to drink in front of you. That's why I didn't bring my water today.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's why I appreciate you doing that. That's some teamwork. You're fasting for 3 hours with me.
That's true allyship.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on this clip?
I think the one thing about this clip also that brought my attention is they got the case manager engaged like sooner than later, right? I love that. I love that. I think I tell the residents all the time and medical students, case management, social workers are your best friends, especially in an emergency department where a lot of our patients don't have resources that they need when they leave the department, right? So I always, at the beginning of my shift, make sure, say hello to my case manager, social worker. I appreciate you for being here. And also, I just kudos to this one, to her, who was aware of the evidence of the SQUID protocol, right? I mean, how many people know about the SQUID protocol? Not even like senior residents know about the SQUID protocol, right? That you can actually give, more frequent doses of insulin or longer acting insulin, to help people in diabetic ketoacidosis. So yes, this is doable, but you got to know the people that can actually help you find solutions. And case managers, social workers, God bless y'all. I mean, we need you. We need more of you. So please go to school, become a social worker.
Yeah.
It's a great point, man. I think the Pitt does a lot of good things by just not focusing on doctors. They're bringing nurses in, they're bringing in security guards in, they're bringing in case management. I hear they're going to bring in like a respiratory therapist soon. They're doing a lot of touching a lot of aspects of medicine, not just like the physician aspect of it.